Right, well, I think this will be the last video before the whole railway moves down into the conservatory, in fact, where it will be warm enough for me to work, because here in the workshop it's fine for making workshoppy sorts of things, but it's too cold for doing this. So let's just have a quick look at what we've done, and we will come in here and you can see that we have done some ballasting, and also that the standard gauge track has changed, because I looked at the other stuff and I thought, well, it really didn't fit in with the sort of the possible era that this might be in, and who knows when that is, but certainly not 20th century or even 21st. So therefore I've changed it, and really it resembles, I think, a Great Western style of track from the 19th century. This little track here, in fact, really is disused, and I'm going to have to paint the rails to look disused. That won't be too difficult. We now have a station platform. Now it's not the full height, because really it's designed for the narrow gauge, and it will have steps which move around so you can get up into the coaches. How about that? The coaches are, there's a coach chassis, which basically is a wagon that's had everything removed. It will have the buffers removed and the horrible couplings, and the coach bodies are in fact made and are awaiting painting, which means I've got to get back down and do it. I changed the footbridge because I didn't like the original. This one's quite well, quite reasonably nice, I think. Once we're down in the conservatory, it will be warm enough to get some water into the river. Okay, now the last time I had done the basic sort of landform up the top there, and I think I'd stuck that tree somewhere else. Now, I bought these trees from China. Obviously, it came from Temu. And I thought, dear me, they don't actually really look that good, do they? And then I was watching this chap in America who, well, he drives along the road. Don't we all? Well, no, I don't actually, but anyway, that's another story. So the thing is, some of the roads he goes along are dirt roads, and he talks about one rather amusing one where he's going along this old stagecoach track, and he's not driving very fast, and just up on his left you see a train, and the train is going faster than he is, that's for sure. Anyway, but the tree, in actual fact, on one of the his trips, he went on the road up from California through Oregon, and it's the quietest road in well, in Oregon certainly. There's 100-mile stretch where they reckon they get 40 cars a day. Right, so anyway, he actually went eventually into a forested area, and I got to say that the trees looked exactly like that, except they had lost some of their limbs closer to the ground. So I'm not quite so unhappy with those, which is just as well because I've got quite a lot of them. Now then, as you will remember, of course, we have a waterfall here coming up, and this, well, coming up, waterfalls come down. Yes, we do. And it'll come out of here. Where's my finger? Oh, there. And then there's a pond here. Over here there will be a cottage, which is cottage, yeah, kind of thing. And then up here you will see that that has changed considerably. Now we still have the bit in the middle with which I can lift this out. I won't lift it all the way out, but I can lift it out. Which means that if anything happens down below, I can put my hand in and grab everything. Up here, on this area, I have decided that there will be a house, which will be called, wait for it, Igor's Nest. So that's Igor's Nest. And since I said that, I have difficulty with my S's, and here I am doing it again. So just stop it. Right, anyway, so all of this obviously has got to be turned into something that looks more like the rest of it, yeah? And the house sat there, and of course it'll have some bats flying around it, which I think will look quite whatever. So there we are. That is it. I can't think of anything to say about it else to say about it at the moment. As you will appreciate, that you're slightly cartoonish, but hey, that's it. So there we go. Okay, so another video will come out one day before too long. And that really is it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and all comments are welcome. Okay, bye.